No. No, Apollo, no. Hi guys, my name is Alyssa and welcome to my Midheaven series. Today we are going to look at the Scorpio Midheaven. Now, if you were born in October or November, this video is not necessarily for you. Look in the information section of this video and find your actual chart, because it's more so for people born any time of the year, but when their 10th house falls in Scorpio. So I know there's a lot of Scorpio lovers out there. This does not mean you're a Scorpio. So just know that, and you can do a little bit of research and find out what your 10th house cusp is if you know your exact time of birth. What I want to start with is your IC, so you kind of know a little bit about why you have your purpose and your MC the way that you do. So if your IC is in Taurus, Taurus is a very laid back, kind of lazy sign. It's also a very closed and very stubborn sign. And so you are very innately, deeply stubborn. And when you were a kid, you probably had control freak parents, maybe a parent that needed to control your surroundings. And the Taurus controls because it needs security, because it is the sign of security. And so it feels lost without it. And because this is your IC, you still have it. And so you might find that actually in your own home life, you like to control. A lot of Taurus ICs, when they were younger, they grew up in a very nice looking home. One of their parents made sure that everything looked beautiful inside their home and was really keen on decorating and really valued the arts and music and culturing you on things that were different, because those are all beautiful things, forms of dance, violin, ballet, old movies, things like that. You also kind of felt a little bit controlled by that. And you probably then at the same time needed that sort of support and security. And so throughout your life, even if you do things, you're always looking for the security in your home and to be able to show off your amazing collections. A lot of Taurus ICs are really big collectors. They can have something, and no matter where they go, they can go and buy it. Oh, I have a perfume collection. Every time I see perfume, I buy it. Why? Because I have a Taurus IC that I can show it off. These aren't mine. I don't even have perfume. This is my sister's room. She doesn't even have a Taurus IC. And maybe you also felt that you learned that what is in your home stays in your home. If your parents are having issues, you don't go off and tell people what they are. You keep things in your home. You don't talk about them. You aren't able to. And so you might have always felt like there are a lot of secrets that you withheld from people, or maybe you thought that your childhood was superior or very less superior, and maybe you were always just searching for security, like someone was trying to take it away and you always just needed it. If you don't collect things, Taurus ICs can collect food, and you might find that you gain a lot of weight and then you lose it, and then you gain a lot because when you're stressed, you eat. And so as you grew up, and normally it's around 6 years old when you develop your ego conscious, you developed your sense of where you felt like you belonged in the world, where you felt like you needed to show yourself off, your stage that you had to go to, the way that you are in the career world, and even, the way you respond to things on the internet, the way that you choose to secret yourself or not secret yourself, those kind of things. Those are all in Scorpio, and that's your midheaven. Scorpio is known for being the sign of sex. And something that I've always noticed that you might not really notice is that Taurus is actually very sensual, and Scorpio is more about the sexual privacy. So Taurus is more open with their sexuality than Scorpio is. So because you have Scorpio on the MC, you don't necessarily flaunt your sexuality. you might wear high cut tops. You might wear longer cut shorts. You might wear a lot of layers. And it's because Scorpio really wants to protect that part of them. You might feel like you have a super banging body and you don't really show it off. And if you're a man, you're not going to be a sexual deviant on the outside. Any sort of sexual promiscuity, like I sound like a mom, like I sound like a fucking grandma, any sexual promiscuity is going to be down in closed doors, and you're not necessarily going to flaunt it. And you might actually feel embarrassed if somebody notices that you're wearing a low-cut shirt, and if someone calls you out on it, because you want to do it and you almost want it to be a secret that you're doing it. When I say that's your internet personality, it's because this is your stage that you talk on. And Scorpio wants to keep things very private. It's very secretive. And so it's not going to be upfront with anything that they say on the internet. They might try and tell people things about other things that have nothing to do with their own lives. They might even lie on the internet, because lying to a public stage is a lot better than actually going out and saying the truth. So now Scorpio is water, and Scorpio is unstable, just the way that Pisces and Cancer are, because it's midheaven. So your public image is on water, and you're very aware of that, and you're very intuitive about that. And so you know that there are things that you just aren't going to show people. And you're going to be very particular about what you show people. And it's normally going to come out whatever your Taurus is okay with and your security is okay with. Then your Scorpio is going to pick that out and then show it. But normally you're going to tell other people how to be. The Scorpio midheaven gives a lot of advice out. If you do Twitter and you do Instagram, which not a lot of Scorpio MCs do, you will be very careful about what you put out there. It just is the truth. The Scorpio MC is very much secretive. And if you have a Scorpio, if your friends have Scorpio MCs, you might notice that they say things that just aren't true. And you're like, wait, you did? That's not true. Okay, whatever. Okay. Scorpio midheaven's career life will also have the same Scorpio secrecy, but it will also have that Scorpio investigatory thing. So you might find that you're not the town gossip, but you tend to know all the gossip. You make sure you're very keenly aware of what's going on. You're listening intently to what people are saying, just in case they're saying something about you or other people. You would never sell yourself as a gossip. You would say that you're anti that, but you definitely want to know everything. And so you make yourself available for information. You might find that you have to leave careers because you think that they tend to know you a little bit too much, or maybe they've figured you out or something, or you just decide that you don't like the people that you work with anymore. You know too many of them, you know too many secrets, and you have to go. You do not want to fuck with a Scorpio midheaven on their public turf, because they will attack you with their Scorpio-like manipulation and their scorpion-like tails. They will just come in and get you, so be careful. If you start to sense that people just aren't happy with what you're giving to them, you really don't like that either. You need the security, and some of the security is not just, having a roof over your head. A lot of security comes from people accepting you. All that gossip stuff aside, the reason why you pick up these vibrations of what's happening around you is because you really need to know that you're accepted. You really need to know that people are liking you, because that gives you this deep inner security that makes you okay. And if you start to sense it, which you know right away if someone likes you or doesn't like you, you won't like that person. You'll try to write out that person. And if you have to write too many people off, then you leave. Prince William and Prince Harry both have Scorpio midheavens, if I'm not mistaken. And it's heard that, the monarch is very, very much into astrology. And so why on earth would a Scorpio midheaven be important to give to somebody like that? It is because in royalty, a Scorpio midheaven is going to keep the secrets of their family. They would rather lie about their family than tell the truth, and so That's important. They're not blabbers on this public stage. They don't speak unless spoken to. They're very subdued. They know how to hone in their own personality for the sake of their career. Scorpio is also a lot of death and regeneration and birth and life and all of that stuff. A Scorpio midheaven may seem cold at times. A lot of them really do want children, because that idea of regeneration, of birth, is like really innately in tune with them, and they really enjoy that, the motherhood of life, that beautiful motherhood. And sometimes it might feel like death just follows you. It follows you in this public place. This public image of you might have some sort of death aligned to it, and it really sucks because of the fact that you just cling to security, and so sometimes it's somebody very close to you that passes, and it's not good. But you can always get back your center, knowing that there's life that comes from death, and really working through death and really understanding that on the other side, and just knowing what it is. You cannot get over life. You cannot get over death. As a Scorpio midheaven, it defines you. And so you need to find your peace with it and just allow it to be. You cannot get over death. You'll end up hurting people, and you'll end up hurting yourself. Embrace it as a part of your life. You need to truly understand. And if it has to be that you know that these people are still with you, then they are. People might think that you're putting on airs, that you are pretending to be something, and you might feel that you have to hide a lot of shit. But this is what your purpose is. You are going to search, and you're going to continue searching for this deep understanding of life, of quantum physics, of alternate realities, of heaven, of hell, of life, of death, of worldly studies, secret societies, aliens. Shit like that is going to warp your brain, but you are going to be able to share that knowledge with everybody else, and you're going to be that little bit of a weirdo that's really into that stuff, as you should be, because people need it. And you're going to work really hard, and you're going to feel like you need to be successful, and you want to grip onto that security, and you're not going to let that go, and you can do that. Just don't get in over your head. Remember, your midheaven's in water, and when that is, you have the tendency to bite off more than you can chew, and to tell people that you are a way, and then they can find out that you're not that way. So be what you want to be, and truly be honest with yourself. Even if you're not always honest with other people, make sure you remember to be honest with yourself, and don't try to steal security that doesn't belong to you. Your purpose is to work hard, to be that Taurus IC, and to like nice things and like security, but to be able to create it for other people and not take it away from other people. Sometimes when you get desperate, as your Scorpio MC comes out and you're trying to please this Taurus IC, you get desperate for security and you try to take it from other people. It can happen when you don't allow yourself to just be okay with what you have. And as a Scorpio MC, you can be a great teacher. You already are. You already try to say that, hey, don't worry about what people say about you. Just be yourself. You say that stuff. You need to believe it in your own life too. You need to allow yourself to have it, and to give up control every once in a while, and to just truly be the Scorpio MC that is like a healer, that understands life, that understands death, that can help other people understand it, that can understand the secrecies of life, and that you don't have to give up everything, but you don't have to expect that everybody else does the same thing that you do. You can create your beautiful home, and you can love when other people adore you, but don't try to make people adore you that can't. And don't try to take what's not yours to add to your collections. Okay, bye.